Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my real life range tests. Today we are going to drive this beauty, the Mercedes-Benz EQS 580 4MATIC. Before we start, let's talk about the car for a little bit. This is supposed to be Mercedes electric S-Class, if you will, and it is the first car built on their dedicated electric platform, the EVA. So what we have here is a technological flagship, and boy, this car feels like it. In terms of design, you'll notice that it's shaped like a teardrop. Please ignore the stickers on it. I'm filming this as part of a contest for the best electric car, so you're going to see some stickers on the car, but please ignore them. The shape of the car was done as closely as possible as the teardrop to make it as aerodynamic as possible. So you'll notice that the front end is almost completely blocked out. There's only the grille on the bottom of the spoiler over there, and we have the AMG package on this car, which comes with those fake intakes. You'll also notice the light bar right in front of the car. So in terms of specs, this car is for now the top spec version, if you will, if we're not including the AMG, the recently announced AMG models. This is the 580, so that means we have two electric motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle, a total of 523 horsepower and 855 newton meters of torque. Now in the floor you will find a battery, a huge battery, 120 kilowatt hours, but out of that you will only be able to use about 107.8 to be more precise. Look at these tail lights, they are stunning, and there's a light bar going between them. So let's take a look at the interior as well before we set off. This is what it looks like, and it is pretty awesome. And we have no transmission tunnel, which means you're supposed to get more room in the back of this car than in the S-Class. So we'll see about that when we do a full review of the car. For now, what we're interested in is the range. So let's hop in and start the car. And you will notice the hyper screen as well, which is a huge 3-piece screen. But for now, let's talk about the range. So unlike most of my previous videos, I had to improvise a bit because I don't have the car for very long. So I already did the inner city test, and the results look kind of like this. The average energy consumption we got is 22.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. Considering the battery has a capacity of about 108 kilowatt hours, so you should be getting at least 400 kilometers of range, 450 kilometers of range from this car around town. Now I should mention that the exterior temperature, as you can see, is pretty high, so that matters. And we are running on efficient tires, on Goodyear summer tires, and the average speed is a bit higher than usual, 32 kilometers per hour, because the city was rather empty today. Now we are going to set off outside the city limits. We still have about 316 kilometers of range, about 60% of the battery, and we are going to set off outside the city limits. That means we will drive on a couple of B roads for now, see what kind of energy consumption results we get over there, and then we will hop on the highway. Just as a reminder, Mercedes says this car with the 580 has a range between 620 and 670 kilometers with a full charge, depending on the wheels and so on. So we have the bigger wheels on this car. Even though they are aerodynamically optimized, they should they decrease the range of the car. So we're looking at about 600 kilometers claimed over here. And mind you, that's the best case scenario. So a lot of people mistake these claims from the manufacturers at all times because they think that's what it's guaranteed with the car. No, that's the best case scenario. Your results may vary, as the old saying goes. So let's set off and see what we get. I just finished the B-Road testing cycle, and I got some pretty amazing results. Let's take a look. So as you can see, the average energy consumption was 15.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered on an average speed of, it was 71 kilometers an hour, but it dropped now that I'm standing still. According to my calculations, considering the battery has a usable capacity of 108 kilowatt hours, that would be a range, a potential range of about 687 kilometers. This is the longest I've ever recorded during my experiments with real-life range tests. The exterior temperature is low, but I did end up using the AC because it was rather hot inside. And look at this interior. Oh my god. Right. Now we are going to hop on the highway. I'm going to keep the car at 130 kilometers an hour and see what kind of results we get. And yes, I am stopped in a petrol station to film this. So let's see what kind of results we get on the highway. Let's go. Okay, so we finished the highway section of our test. Let's look at the results. They have been altered a bit because I had to pull over in order to record, but I will tell you what the readout said before I left the highway. So we're looking at an average speed of 115 kilometers an hour. It was 125 when I got off the highway, and the energy consumption wasn't 22, was 23 kilowatt hours. And that means, considering the car has a battery, usable battery of 108 kilowatt hours, you should be able to do about 470 kilometers on the highway at 130 kilometers an hour with a full battery. So these are the results I got. I think they are pretty darn good. The weather was rather perfect for this sort of range test, so they might be just a best case scenario in my book, but they are still pretty impressive nonetheless. Mind you, I only used comfort mode and sport mode for a couple of minutes. I didn't use eco mode, I didn't cut on any creature comforts, and everything went smoothly. So that's what I got. You'll find a link in the description to my full table with all the cars I tested so far, all the electric cars I tested so far, to compare the results the EQS got to other cars. That said, this has been my range test with the EQS. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe to keep this channel alive and allow me to do this sort of test again. Until next time, ciao.